I'm Jo Elvin.
And I'm Amanda Wakeley.
And welcome to Friday Night Fashion. Now I know it's on a Tuesday, this Friday Night Fashion. And in true fashion style, we're just going to confuse you with that, not explain it to you and make you feel intimidated with it all night long.
But we're going to explain just a moment first where this Friday Night Fashion idea came from. And that was, I had this idea that it would be fun to slightly deconstruct fashion and take the mystery out of it. And it was about 3 days before New York Fashion Week, and I thought, I'm not going to do this on my own with a camera in my face. So I reached out to my old friend, former magazine editor.
Emphasis on the old.
Oh,
yeah,
very young, but not old in terms of we've known each other a long time. And I said, how about we just talk about fashion and take it to pieces and not be too caught up in the ridiculousness of some parts of fashion.
And I think that we really do try to demystify. I think that former designer, although I'd love to get her back on that horse, former editor-in-chief.
I'd love to get her back on that horse.
I think we can probably be a little bit more honest. And I think I always came from fashion in a very different place. I didn't start my career in fashion. I started my career in writing. So I was always the person at Glamour magazine when fashion became a big part of what I had to do, saying to the fashion editors, but I don't get it, just to annoy them and just to make them explain it to me like a reader. And so that's where I always come at it from.
And I always came at fashion from the perspective of, what do I want to wear? How do I want to feel? How do I want my clothes to make me more empowered, more comfortable person in my own skin? So I never came at fashion in a sort of theatrical sense, far from it. I came at fashion in, I just want women to feel the best version of themselves. So neither Jo and I will fit in at the Met Gala. Let's just say that.
Well, it's pretty easy to fit in at the Met Gala. You just turn up wearing nothing.
Or a wet t-shirt.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if any of you have seen any of the Met Gala looks.
Probably. Oh, no, I can tell that this crowd is very obsessed and very judgy with it. I'm excited, very excited.
Anyhow, we have pulled together a few of our most interesting looks, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
The Met Gala is all about really celebrating art and craftsmanship and the pure theatre of fashion. It's really totally over the top, and that has to be applauded because the craftsmen, the pattern cutters, the designers, the seamstresses behind the scenes, this really is an opportunity for them to shine and their work to shine.
I agree, but it is also the goal of the Met Gala, I'm convinced, is to confuse the living fuck out of everybody about the dress code. Don't you think?
Totally.
Yeah.
And along with that, it is a massive fundraiser. I don't know if you know, each of those tickets costs $75,000 to attend. Yeah, and if you take a table, it's $350,000. You do the maths. Anyhow, it's a great fundraiser, and it's in aid of the Met in terms of their costume department. I probably got the wording of that wrong, but it's a very, very special occasion, but it really is the Oscars of the fashion world.
And I actually really love the theme this year, the idea of like Sleeping Beauties, reawakening fashion. I probably wouldn't pay $75,000 for the pleasure, but I would buy a ticket to Manhattan to see, I think it's something like 33 archived gowns that are so delicate that they can barely be viewed by human eyes without disintegrating before you. I mean, that's an amazing history of fashion.
It really is, and the Met actually owns 33,000 pieces of fashion.
See, we did our research. Yeah, we did.
Over and out.
Yeah, and then the dress code following on from that was the thing that I was like, when I first read it, I was like, well, what the hell is that? The Garden of Time? What are you trying to do to people? And I'm going to pretend that I've always known, even though I've only known since yesterday, that it's based on a J.G. Ballard novel about a very rich couple who keep the marauding hordes at bay from their beautiful paradise. So the whole thing about the theme is about fashion through the prism of sensory perception, about through feeling it, touching it, smelling it, but also fashion that is only going to, it's going to die in the sands of time.
Yeah,
that's cheery, isn't it?
It's a fleeting
Yeah.
moment.
That's the romantic way to say it. Thank you.
Very, very romantic. I was expecting to see a lot more floral inspired.
Oh, I was
designs.
disappointed by how much floral there was.
We're already disagreeing.
It was just because I thought the Garden of Time. I thought, okay, so I suppose if I was freaking out, I'd put on something floral. But how boring would that be? And then everybody did it. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. We're going to start with one of my favourites, Zendaya. We're mixing them up. There's no sort of like best, worst. There's no ranking. We're just going to shoot the breeze, and you can argue with us, and you can ask us questions later.
And you have to understand this only happened last night, so preparation time has been fairly minimal, but
I was up all night.
yes.
Yeah. It's absolutely. I mean, I just think that Zendaya might be the most perfect creature that is gracing the planet at the moment. I've never seen anybody so stark ravingly beautiful, so it doesn't really matter. But then she's knocked it out of the park with this John Galliano Mezzo Margiela.
Absolutely, and so ethereal. And what I love about her is you're really seeing her full-on acting capability there too. You know, she's striking the poses. She's really living that character. And the craftsmanship in this gown is extraordinary. You know, how beautifully that is made. That is not an easy gown to.
Is this a hummingbird?
I believe it is.
Oh,
I believe it is.
I've got no words.
And she also had a second gown, didn't she?
She did. I just want to say as well, as slender and as exquisite as she is, that's still a normal waist, which we will discuss later on. But here we go. But now this, I think I might like this one even more. I just love the drama of it. And yes, it's floral, but in that subversive way that McQueen always did with that hat. It's absolutely gorgeous. She almost won the train wars. I think there's somebody else later on who's really done it.
There is. But again, I'd just like to say, look at the craftsmanship there. I just want to go like that with the
Yeah, you
the
can't.
screen. I can't. But just absolutely exquisite. And I love, you've got the layers of this sort of smoky dark grey and black, and then the sheerness of all of that ruching. Absolutely exquisite. And then I think the headpiece is, you know, I don't even want to call it a hat, it's a headpiece, I don't know. It looks like that was probably a Stephen Jones, I would think.
It's Alexander McQueen.
No, but the headpiece.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. All right.
All right.
I'm not going to argue with you about that. I think she won, really.
I think so, and why not, you know, as the co-chair.
And, you know, it's the Garden of Time. It's her time, it's her youthful time.
But what I love is her body language is demure there, whereas before, in the previous look, she was really striking a pose, and there's something very demure about this look, and she's really, really owning it.
And who knows much about, I've only recently become aware of her stylist, Laura Roach, who just seems amazing. So there's somebody that I want to research more and be friends with.
Totally owning the whole styling scene
Exactly.
at the moment.
Indeed. Shall we move on?
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Oh, I loved this. And I think we don't have the pictures of when Olivier Rostand cut it so that she could walk later on. Did you see the amazing videos of Tyla where they had to stiffly carry her up the stairs? I mean, that is fashion, right?
The absurdity of fashion, and this was all inspired by the sands of time. So this is all.
I'm getting that theme with the Sands, Days of Our Lives. So do you remember that? You don't get that show, did you? Days of Our Lives, where
no, that was
the whole no, it's American, and the whole icon is a sand glass, an hourglass.
Ah.
So that's what she's channeling.
But I
there.
also love the fact that, you know, she's got the sand on her body. It's as though she's just rolled in the sand and sort of come out of the sand in this sort of beautiful silhouette.
And then he cut it up. But then what fascinates me about that, but that's like the talent, he just did one straight line and it was perfect. And it was exactly the right sort of like length all the way around.
Do you think he rehearsed that?
I don't know. No, I'm just going to believe in the myth that he was that talented. I loved it, but and then thank God, then she could go to the loo.
Yeah, because pulling that up would have been tricky.
I don't think it would have been possible. It looks like it's like so structured.
Yeah, that certainly isn't going up over her hips.
No, good on you, Tyla. No, here we are. Controversy.
That's a waste, isn't it? Now, there's a huge controversy about this and the fact that she was so cinched in.
Well, I think I read an Instagram post from Jamil this afternoon, and I think I'm team Jamila in that she's right. We create events like this, and the only way to stand out is to be talked about, is to go viral, is to be the most stand out in the most shocking way that you can. So which came first, the need to shock or the want to shock? And I remember going to a McQueen show years ago in Paris where we got there late because of the traffic, so I didn't get to my seat, so I was standing where I could see the girls come off the runway, and one of them came off and passed out because the corset was so tight. So what's going on where that's what designers want to design, and then somebody else wants to, feels that they've got to cinch themselves into it? I love the dress. I don't know how I feel about that.
But also,
I don't think it's Kim's fault.
A little bit controversial, but that is a man designing for a woman, and
Many such cases, Amanda Wakeley.
he
Many
ain't
such
wearing
cases.
that.
No.
I mean, Mr. Pearl famously was the man behind a lot of the corsets, the tiny, and he would traditionally wear a tiny corset himself. Had a minute, sort of something like a ridiculous sort of 16-inch waist or something like that. But he trained his body to be used to wearing this really critically tight corset. And I just wonder how much time KK has spent in a corset over the last couple of weeks, training her body.
I've got to say, wherever you land on it, you've got to take your hats off to that commitment, because I would be panicking. I wouldn't be able to wear it. I remember trying on a bra once in Rigby and Pella, and it was so tight and so painful that I was nearly crying, and that was like 35 seconds of torture.
And
I mean, well done, Kim.
According to Rigby and Pella, that was the bra for you.
I was like, I can't breathe, and they were like, and I said, I'm just going to have to tell this story now. And it was like, and I said, what size is this? She said, it's a 34B. And I said, see, I'm normally a 34C. This is too small. She went, no. And I said, well, I'd rather have the wrong bra because I can't breathe. And she went, right, and walked out. And that was my first and last time in Rigby and Pella. But Kim's obviously a different, more stammered horse than I am.
Or more pliable, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
That is one pliable waist.
And where does one Amanda Wakeley stand on the ratty old cardigan on the top?
Well, again, it's sort of,
I like it.
It's Galliano, it's having a laugh, isn't it? You've got this exquisitely precious, beautifully crafted gown, and then you've got this slightly scrappy cardi on the top, and it's going to get column inches.
And
good, bad, or indifferent, but it's still going to get column inches.
Unattainable beauty can also be practical. She was cold.
The Garden of Time. It's been around, buried in the garden for a long time. That cardi.
Do you think?
Maybe.
Like from a crime scene or something. Yeah. No, I like it. I like the high-low thing. I always like that.
I love the high-low thing.
Yeah.
And she does look exquisite, I have to say.
Yeah. I'm not really a fan, but I do love I love that dress. I think it's incredible.
Yeah.
What's next? J-Lo. I mean, J-Lo just being very on-brand J-Lo, right?
I think this is one of my...
Schiaparelli, I think that's how you say it.
This is one of my absolute favourites.
Okay.
I mean, not least that body in that dress with that poise. She just knows how to wear it, throw the poses. Just absolutely exquisite. It's one of the less brave dresses, and quite interesting that it doesn't have a particularly long split. It's a very revealing dress. You would expect legs to be out to the crotch. But oh no. So I thought that was quite interesting. And the craftsmanship in this is absolutely extraordinary. This will all have sort of a mesh corsetry inside that's completely invisible, but beautiful.
I just want to take a moment to laugh at the fact that you're calling that sort of like tame and modest. And I remember when I think it was 1999 when J-Lo wore that slashed to the navel green Versace, and the entire world clutched its pearls in horror and shock and shame. And now here we are where I can see her bum and her boobs, and you're saying, whoa, she could go to church in that. That's where we are as a people now.
It's quite a necklace too, isn't it?
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Yeah. Anyone, any votes, yay or nay for that one? Oh, yay. Yeah, it's a good one, right? Let's have a look. On the other side of the spectrum.
Maybe this is less inspiring.
Did anyone like this?
No.
Not one person, but even this is like, it is sort of like shower curtain-y.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
No. And even the wrinkles in the bodysuit, it's just like nude tights all over, and no thank you.
Although there is a great irony, I think, with the Met Gala, in that, it's people are chosen because they're famous and they're really happening and they're stylish. Anna very famously will vet the guest list if she thinks someone can't dress to cut it. And the irony is, it's like more and more, it's people wearing no clothes are the ones who are on the guest list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll come to Lauren Sanchez in a minute. Jeff Bezos' fiance was supposed to have been dressed.
Well, that was the rumor.
With Anna's approval, but not surprising. Anyhow,
but I remember the time when Kim Kardashian wasn't allowed at the Met Gala, and now couldn't survive without her. So this time next year, Lauren Sanchez be wearing that crown.
She'll be co-chairing it and funding it with Jeff's money.
Speaking of crowns.
Oh. Exquisite.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought that was a groany.
No, I think this is absolutely. I think what I love about the Met Gala is the attention to detail from beginning to end, and I think Amanda Seyfried here, it just is sort of illustrates that so beautifully. I mean, look, the hair, the silver hair, and then that exquisite diamond headpiece, and then the makeup. And the lips with the colour in the skirt of this dress is just absolutely exquisite. This is supposed to have been fully sustainable.
Yes, that's what she demanded. No, I think probably upcycled, recycled.
It will not be decomposing, that's for sure.
No, but she'll just wear it forever. Do you know what? Once upon a time, Prada made me a dress for the Glamour Awards.
And what did it look like?
Well, it was okay. It was, sorry, no disrespect to Prada, but I was 19 years pregnant. So and that's why they made me the dress, out of the kindness of their heart. But it just, the way it sort of like skimmed off my bum made my arse look like it went out for 1,000 years. It was like, but I had to be grateful because it was Prada. From the front, it looked fine. Fine.
A Prada tent.
Yeah, I'll stick it on the show notes. You can have a look. Now, Lana Del Rey, a room divider, in every sense.
Yeah. Apparently she nearly took Kim Kardashian's eye out with one of her.
Try harder, Lana. Try harder. I don't know. I'm kind of here for this. This is what the Met Gala is supposed to be, sort of panto-esque.
I'm with you. What's the wrong feeling?
I love Lana Del Rey. I love her. I think she's great. I think it's Garden of Time.
Yeah, it's true to the theme.
Yeah.
And she'll never get malaria. Ever.
Any other opinions? Is that a real red rose, do we think?
Of course it is. Come on. I mean, oh no, she's not holding it. Do you remember when they all had to, was it the whole Me Too thing? And not only did women in Hollywood have the burden of Me Too, to show their solidarity, they all had to carry a fucking flower all night, just to add to the burden. I thought for a second she was holding it, but no, it's part of the hand decor.
I mean, what I love about this is it's absolutely, historic McQueen, isn't it? It's just going back to his roots of total theatre, his love of nature, and you've got all of this sort of embroidery that sort of reminds me of either thorns and then into antlers. It's sort of one crossing over
It's
into
that
the other.
savage beauty thing that you
Yes.
loved. But I do wish slightly that it just hung a bit more elegantly. It just looks like,
Looks like a beekeeper's.
yeah, or if I was waiting for my new curtains and I just hung up a bit of a sheet. Do you know what I mean? I just think it could have, I love the concept, I just think it could have been a bit more artful at the top.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. Sorry, Lana, we love you. We love you really. Oh, FKA Twigs. I love FKA Twigs. Have you seen her pole dance? Oh my God, no one can do it better.
Joe,
Seriously.
when are you watching FKA?
I don't know, she did a video. She did a video, it was amazing.
I'd love to be part of her search history on it. I mean, really.
Well, we'll get to that in a minute. Yeah.
Now this is supposed to have been made out of lab-grown diamonds.
Yeah, and like thousands and thousands of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not sure how environmentally friendly they are, Stella, actually, in reality.
Well, that's interesting, but apparently the wool is all sustainably, responsibly sourced.
Right.
So, in your face, Amanda Wakeley.
Yeah.
Says
But
so.
that hair is, headpiece, I don't know, what is it? It's absolutely exquisite.
I love that she just looks so beautifully alien.
Yeah.
I love it. And so does Cara, just sort of like quietly
Yes.
going up in the background. Like, this is clearly not my moment, I'll just carry on.
Love that.
Yeah, I don't like the shoes, that's all I'm going to say.
No, I mean, they're a bit clunky, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't know, maybe, I don't know what I would have suggested. What do you think?
Well, she's obviously trying to get some height without, without them sort of being complete leg breakers, because I always think, with a platform, I always go like that. So actually that shoe is probably a very comfortable shoe.
And
She
indeed,
can wear
and
that
because let's
like-
face it, it's going to really be painful when she sits down
I
with all those
agree.
crystals. So at least let her have some comfort on her
That's
feet.
not going to be a comfortable dinner, is it?
I don't think that. Do you think anyone eats at the Met Gala?
Yeah,
No.
yeah, and apparently Anna has 5 rules, one of which is, a few of them. No selfies, no smoking, no garlic, onion or parsley, because then you get bad breath, and no fiddling with the seating plan.
Oh yeah, no, that's a big no-no. If she just adds no bananas on the tables, then I'm with her. That's the whole thing. That would be my, if I was a powerful
What,
editor-in-chief.
top tip to Anna.
Yeah. I bet she's with me on that. Let's have a look. Oh, I love Lil Nas. I just think, now this is, there's an arm missing from this. Luau, the designer. You and I talked about this designer as an emerging designer at New York Fashion Week. We were both big fans. And now he's put together this, I think there's something like 50,000 crystals on that outfit. I just love that he is really, more than anybody I can think of in pop, really marching to the beat of his own drum, this guy. I love him.
Totally, and the cut of this is really cool. Really, he feels like he's really owning this look too. You know how some people walk the red carpet and they're just not comfortable in what they're wearing? Well,
he's never
really
not,
is.
he's never uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I love, look at all the bead, all the pearl button detailing. I just think,
And actually the designer is right there on the red carpet, sort of adjusting his train. His look was exquisite too, and literally those seams just wrapped around his body, and they were literally, every seam was, well, it wasn't a seam, they were buttoned together.
Yep.
Each panel was buttoned together. Beautiful.
can't stand it when a man's got nicer nails than mine, but that's okay.
Okay, we're not looking,
No,
not judging.
no, please don't judge. Although, yes, I think, don't look. Oh.
Bit about that.
Oh, I mean, especially from one of the co-chairs, you know?
Okay, so men in the room, what are we thinking?
The previous one was the best outfit so far.
Yeah.
Men in the room.
No, yeah, I'm one of them. Black shoes, no.
It's just a bit Saturday Night Fever. Yeah.
Yeah, could
look,
try harder.
it's like, Chris, we know you've got the nicest man boobs in the business. Nobody that's not, we know that. Just, I don't know.
And a good waxing too, clearly. But,
Yeah.
yeah. Try harder next time, mate, I think. Really.
I don't like the black shoes with the all white either. Is that a thing?
And there's something about the images of these black shoes, it feels like they have lifts in them. I'm not sure if they do, but they just look a little platformy to me.
Oh gosh. Right, I can't look at that anymore. Oh, Ray. Now, a good friend of some of ours in the room did Ray's hair, so we're going to be, so we're big fans. It was absolutely, I love this.
Yeah. Why do you love it so much?
Because I love anything sparkly. I love just how, I don't know what to tell you. I just love how sparkly it is. And that's all. Sometimes that's all you need.
But it really is actually joyful, isn't it? The way that the fringing is embellished is just, that actually we're not seeing half of that dress. Once that dress is moving, it's absolutely a light.
And I bet, with the whole sort of like the theme of fashion that awakens the senses, I bet it sounds incredible. Yeah. I bet, and also, how many people look as happy in their outfit on the red carpet as Ray looks in hers? I think good for her.
Yeah, no, she's really owning it. And I read that Kim Jones, designer of Fendi, creative director of Fendi, is a good friend of hers, and so that's the genesis of this dress. And I think actually not too costumey. You can see her. You can believe that she's performing in that, and I quite like that.
And that might be the first time that I've liked a pair of opera gloves.
Yeah, you're not big on opera gloves.
I'm not really, no.
These are fabulous.
They're almost like tree branches.
But these are all you. I mean, they sparkle, they move.
Yeah.
They probably sound fantastic.
Yeah, I'm going to see if she'll let me borrow them. We love Colman. He always pulls it off.
He really does, doesn't he?
I don't really know much about him except that he always looks like a legend on the red carpet.
Now, this is supposed to be a bit of a tribute to the late, great Andre Leon Talley, which
and
just
Chadwick
love.
Boseman, who apparently have both worn capes to the Met Gala before.
Yeah.
And this is what I love about him. He always manages to have some sort of sweetness of heart about him. In any public appearance, he's always telling a lovely story, saying something nice, and looking so damn chic.
Yeah. And I love the arum lilies and, the way that he's holding them, just all wrapped in silk, and it just looks, it's the devil's in the detail, isn't it?
I would wear that, would you?
God, yes.
Yeah.
I would love that jacket.
Yeah.
Would really love that. I think it's exquisite.
Good old Willie Chavaria. That's another one that we talked about.
Yeah.
If you haven't tuned into Friday Night Fashion before, we've done a whole series, and there was a New York Fashion Week one where we talked about them as well, didn't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Who's next? Ooh. Wet t-shirt competition.
This is a little divisive.
I don't like it, but I also do like that she did it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, that's the whole point of the Met Gala.
So her thinking was that her favourite flower is the cotton flower, hence the t-shirt. But of course it's not a dry t-shirt.
I just don't believe that. She just wanted to...
No, it's the story, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
of course.
But good old Pat McGrath just did quite a number on the makeup. I think that's just brilliant, just the way it's dripping down the face.
This is one of 3 shower themes that Doja modelled on the night. There was literally a wrap towel and a bath towel
as she came out of the hotel
as a pre-thing, and then later on, just like much like the Rita Ora thing, it was like a sheath that sort of looked like a shower curtain. So I don't know. She's really feeling the water theme. Yeah. And who are we to argue? Although this looks uncomfortable, this grabbing here.
Well, it just makes me wonder what
she's hiding, what she needs to hide.
Underneath there.
There's a reason we don't wear white bikinis,
I have a sneaky feeling that there's not a lot of discretion under there.
Hey, but we're talking about it.
We're talking about it, you're right.
Here we are.
Okay.
Lauren Sanchez, allegedly, reportedly, starred by Anna Wintour.
And only allowed to come with Anna's approval on the frock. Because she's had some moments, has old Lauren, including sort of being semi-naked in the White House and
Really?
Yeah.
Go, Lauren.
Yeah.
I mean,
so this must be, I think, the most demure dress that Lauren's ever worn, but a little bit
Bit boring.
Yeah.
It's awful to say it's boring, isn't it? Because you can tell this is all apparently sort of like a glass effect. So there's obviously workmanship and
There's huge
hours of work gone into it.
that. Yeah.
But
I mean, old
yeah.
Jeff must have paid a bob or two for that, but I don't think it's really going to
On
make
top of the 75 grand a ticket.
quite a dent in his however many trillion he's got. But yes,
And you can see it from space, so when he's up there, you'll be able to see it.
But, yes, I think this is her attempt at trying to impress Anna.
God,
Quite a hard one.
where are we as a people when that's, you know, I mean, they're richer than God.
Did you have much contact with Anna Wintour?
Little bit. I the one story I have told before is when we had launched Glamour and it was quite successful, and they wanted to launch Teen Vogue in the same format, like the little small magazine. So she asked me for a meeting to talk about it, like just to hear any pitfalls, anything that I could teach them. I was like, bloody hell, okay. So she came to London. I, like a cheeser, got up and went and got my hair done.
I was going to say,
before
what
my
did you
8:30 meeting, I did the one time I did the editor-in-chief thing, phoned John Frieda, so I was like, please let me in early, you don't understand, you know. What did I wear? I can't remember. So she came in, she was very cordial actually, but my office at the time was as dark as this, and she had her sunglasses on the entire time. But now that I'm a woman of a certain age, I sometimes just have to wear my sunglasses because they're prescription, and so I figure sometimes she just can't be asked to change them over, and now I get it. But so it was all very businesslike and very cordial. Lasted about 45 minutes. Came time to leave, and I said, "Let me see you." I said, "I can see myself there." I was like, "Okay." But the thing is, the exit at Glamour was all wood paneling, and so it was hard to tell which one was the actual door out. And I watched her through a glass window, going like that. And much like there was this urban legend that once somebody opened the lift as Anna Wintour fell over, and the dilemma was, do I help her up or do I just pretend it didn't happen? And I think the urban legend was that you just move on and pretend it. You didn't see Anna Wintour in such a humiliating position.
Away.
So I thought, I'm just going to unsee that and let her figure it out.
And tell it time and
Time again. But then we had this guy Morven, who I used to love. He was like our office boy. He was like 25, 30, something like that. You know, did all the couriers and stuff. And she left, and he walked in the loudest voice I think I could ever went, "Fucking hell, who was that vampire?" I was just like, oh my God. Thinking that's it, I'm dead if she heard that. But then 2 days later I got the loveliest letter, all very professional. So yeah.
She clearly didn't have to hear that.
But she clearly watches Friday Night Fashion, so I'm fucked now. So yeah. Anyway, should we move on?
Let's move on.
Yeah. Naomi.
No, I was watching Sky News this morning. I don't know if anyone else saw this. They were talking about an image of Serena Williams in a gold dress, and they were saying it was Naomi Campbell. I mean, that was a little bit of a moment that I wouldn't have been that proud about if I was Sky News.
Just speechless at that, to be honest. But I just think this is very pretty. If I was wearing this to a red carpet gala, I'd be very happy. It's very pretty, but I just think for the Met Gala,
I agree.
it's almost like deliberately, I don't want to be any of that circus. I don't want to be competing with the person with the tiniest waist or the stupidest headdress. I'm just going to go. And maybe then we should respect that.
Yes, I mean I respect it, but I'm disappointed because she is, you know, the super of the supers, and God, she knows how to hold a look, and she still does. And yeah,
It's also a bit like, come on, Burberry.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, come on. You know,
I'm not
game on for
actually
the Brits.
sure. I don't fully understand how that talks to the theme. Does anyone else? Am I missing something?
Well, maybe somebody said that to Naomi and she just glared at them and they ran away. So
that is entirely possible.
Beyond possible.
Yes.
Yes. Anyway.
I was going to say, any...
Here we are.
Oh,
I put these in for you,
goes
George.
on to K-pop.
Yeah.
We'll be on this for half an
So
hour.
all my friends are like, oh, for fuck's sake. Listen, I don't really know much about Stray Kids, but I love K-pop. And what I do love about Stray Kids is that this young man here, Felix, is from the same shithouse suburb that I am from Sydney. I mean, that's like, so I'm just kind of like having a moment where I'm like, wow, look at this. And they look gorgeous. And I wanted to say nice things about them because I've seen some videos where I could not believe how racist and culturally snobby the photographers' banks were, screaming at them for, God, their faces are like robots. They look so weird. Why aren't they doing anything? Does anyone say that to Kim Kardashian when she's sulking down the lens?
Whoa.
So I was just like, big up for Stray Kids.
Yeah, that's disappointing. Talk me through the looks.
It's Tommy Hilfiger,
K-pop
custom made.
fan.
Well, I didn't really understand why, because individually they've got ambassador deals with like the likes of Loewe and Vuitton and people like that. But this is Tommy Hilfiger, custom made. Nice enough. Again, I don't really get the theme, but don't they look cute?
They do. They look like a little boy band.
A little boy band.
Yeah, yeah.
They're very talented.
Super talented.
They've got a song called Baggy Jeans that I like. That's all I know. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole because
Do
I've
you
got
know
enough
what?
on with BTS.
We don't want her to go down
Yeah,
that rabbit hole.
yeah. Amanda's one of the people I've started sending pretty pictures to, and she doesn't like it.
K-pop pictures. Seriously? Oh,
At the other end of the scale. Thing is, I love this because he was, the reason I pulled this one out, he was standing behind, I can't say this guy's last name, that guy Nicholas is in the new Anne Hathaway film, The Idea of You. Very handsome British man. So he was there in his quite nice, slightly embellished jacquard tuxedo, looking fine. Just not particularly interesting either way. And I noticed Mr. Grey Gardens in the background and I just loved it. So I love that headdress. You and I have argued about lilac before, but I'm telling you it's the colour of the summer and I adore it. And I think that is very on theme actually.
Do we know who
Yes,
tailored this?
I don't actually. Sorry, it might have even been him.
Because it's
Yeah.
absolute, I mean the design of it is absolutely exquisite. Those oversized patch pockets, beautiful.
And I think probably most people in this crowd know there's Hamish Bowles who used to work at American Vogue for years and years and years, and now he is the editor of World of Interiors here, and doing a very fine job.
Yeah.
Yeah,
King of style.
yeah, absolutely.
Who do we think did the little turban for him?
Probably him.
Yeah, you're right.
Honestly, you're
Right.
right. He's just on the. He just strikes me as the kind of person on the way. I went, oh, yeah. Ariana Grande. Now, my daughter and I had a big argument about this because she will not have a bad word said about Ariana. I just thought it was just a bit princessy, and I wish that Ariana would move on from the high ponytail.
Yeah, I mean, when you see it from the side, it's almost just pulled back with a band. It's sort of
Yes.
yes, and she's got that incredible hair that, you know, even some sort of plait or a beautiful, what's it called, fishtail plait or something could have been just really magical with that.
But you can just tell that somebody said, hey, what about for the Met Gala? She went, no, high ponytail. You could just tell that she's like, because I've done shoots with Ariana in my old life. No, high ponytail. So,
Right.
yeah. It's just
Yes.
we're never moving on from that.
And also, you know, just all of that body language, she's just not fully feeling comfortable in that dress, to me.
Well, yeah, but then she performed in it and apparently it looked great when she was performing. But yeah.
Yep.
Now, what do we think of Cynthia Avino?
I love her.
Yeah.
Just really nailing it.
I love the boots, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. The whole thing, super cool.
Yeah.
And Loewe were title sponsors of the Met Gala, so yeah, they're getting their money's worth. I noticed, actually, cynically speaking, that there were very few other LVMH brands sort of present at the Met Gala. It was really, they'd given it to Loewe.
Yeah, although, because my daughter is working at Gucci at the moment, I was like, oh, not much Gucci, but they've got a massive cruise show here on Monday, so they're all just a bit like having a nervous breakdown about that. So that explains them.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, I love this. This is goddamn Gap. Can you believe it?
Yeah, I can. I mean,
Yeah.
you look at all that denim, just fantastic. And Davine Joy Randolph,
It was only, I was today years old when I learned that Zack Posen is the new creative director of Gap, and he's done this.
Yes, but that's so Posen, isn't it? All of that sort of fluting cutting is just, and that fantastic corseting. I mean, that is a real work of art.
I am excited for the Gap Zack Posen era. I hope they let him just run with it.
I do too, and I hope we do get a little bit of denim drama or, white t-shirt drama, that, the fusing of the two brands would be really great.
Do you remember when we did our denim Friday Night Fashion and you said, is there any way you can't wear denim? You can wear it on the red carpet.
Yeah.
I did say funeral, but then depends. Whose funeral?
I was going to say whose funeral.
Yeah, as I said, if it's Willie Nelson's,
you're in denim.
then that's like a tribute. That's like respect. But yeah,
Total.
that's a whole other conversation. Now, Stefan Diggs, he's a footballer. I don't know anything about sport. He's a footballer. We've got a few that are custom H&M, which I was very intrigued about because I loved this.
I loved it too. And again, there's the whole look. Look at his, his cornrows, the diamond jewellery, the tats, the everything. Very, very cool.
Another one I would wear. I loved this. And again, here's that violet. This is like this, forget-me-not is apparently the Alaskan flower where she's from. So that's a lovely nod to sort of like the garden theme.
Yeah, and also, her roots and everything, I think really, really beautiful. I mean, fascinating to see a brand like H&M do basically some couture pieces. I don't know, yes, they get exposure out of it. I don't know what that does for what showing these couture pieces does for sales, because you're not selling these garments, but it's huge exposure.
It's really intriguing, isn't it? And this last one from them, I love this. When we all learn that Adwo is pregnant and looking absolutely gorgeous in her custom H&M.
Absolutely exquisite. And again, I mean, that sort of looks like a Pat McGrath touch on the lips, doesn't it? I mean, nobody would do that so exquisitely.
I met her in the street in LA once and she was very nice.
Pat?
Adwo. That's the end of that story. But that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Where are we getting? Oh, we're done. How exciting. You thought it was never going to end, did you?